YouTube Ozick going the Goat House is back with Week 16 score predictions, taking a look at each game, the line of each game, predicting the score like we do every single week. Also have straight up picks, power rankings, and a lot more, even coverage in the offseason with the draft and free agency. So if you're new, please subscribe. Be much appreciated. Check out that Twitter. It's a must follow. Constant NFL talk, talking during live games. Link down below for that, as well as our Instagram, podcast, and Patreon, and the Sided app as well. We have a page on there. Post NFL debates. You guys reply to them. Give your take, and you can win Amazon gift cards. Pretty cool. Right before the score predictions, that Patreon I mentioned, link down below. Junior score predictions every week. My bets of the week for NFL and college football. So we got the bowl games going on. We got a bunch of score predictions for bowl games, updated playoff predictions, and a lot more. A lot of you showing your support on there. Appreciate you very much. The Christmas game, Vikings Saints. Yeah, I got the Saints. They're favored by 7. I got them winning 31-23. The Saints got some offense going. You know, Drew Brees first game back, little rusty early on, but then really got things going. And yeah, the Vikings defense is not good right now. It's not good. So I think the Saints offense should have no problem. And I like their defense. You know, the Vikings offense looks pretty good, but I think the offensive line's been struggling a little bit. Saints been getting a lot of pressure. You know, so they'll continue that. I think they'll have a solid game. You know, holding the Vikings to 23 points, pretty solid. And they should be fine on offense. You know, sometimes they struggle with the Vikings, but this is not the same defense for the Vikings. So the Saints should have no problem. But it's a Christmas game. Who knows what can happen? Anything can happen. But pretty confident with the Saints at home on Christmas, 31-23. Next, the Bucs at the Lions. I don't like this matchup for the Lions, so I got the Bucs taking care of business 30-17. I guess it depends on which Bucs are going to show up. You know, they've been hot and cold. Been cold a little more often, I guess, than we thought they would be. Cold early in the Falcons game, but they came back, you know, figured it out. Maybe they got some momentum, but I don't like this matchup for the Lions because I think the Bucs defense matches up well with the Lions offense. You know, the Buccaneers are going to stop the run pretty much by default without really game planning for it. They're very good run-stopping defense, and then the Lions will be forced to be in obvious passing situations. I think the Buccaneers will blitz quite a bit, and the pressure will get to Stafford there, who's not really 100%. So that's really not ideal. And then the Bucs offense will pick up where they left off there, but their defense, of course, will help them. They're favored by 9.5. I got them winning by almost 2 scores here, just about there. 13 points. So Buccaneers feeling good about them in this one, but we'll see. They kind of go cold sometimes, but it's about that time of the year where they should start to heat up based on their talent because they're a very talented roster. That was a Saturday game. This is also a Saturday game. 49ers and Cardinals. I believe it'll be C.J. Beathard. I don't expect too much scoring there from Beathard and company. Cardinals defense has been playing really good. They gave up quite a few points to the Eagles, but the Eagles offense is better than people think. But yeah, they get pressure. Hassan Reddick didn't practice yet this week, so that's something to keep an eye on. But I like the way their defense is playing. They're going to get pressure on Beathard. They're going to create some turnovers, and the offense will do enough here on the Saturday ball game. And the Cardinals take care of business. You know, Kyler Murray, minus that bad interception, take that away. He had a pretty damn good game. So, and he was getting, moving on the ground, throwing through the air, 400 plus yards. So hopefully he can pick up where he left off. You know, the Cowboys were getting turnovers and getting big points on the Niners. So every week is different. Every game is different. Every matchup's different. But, the Cardinals should. They can't slip up here. Fighting for the playoffs. They're starting to kind of get back on track, get over that hangover from the Hail Mary. So I want to see consistency here. They should win this game, take care of business. They're favored by 5. I'm surprised it's not a little more. I have them winning by 11. I'm surprised it's not more. The Vegas nerds, they know something here. It's division game, but I like the Cardinals in this one. Last Saturday game. This should be a pretty good one. Saturday night. Dolphins at Raiders, Tua Tagovailoa versus Marcus Mariota. And I'm really looking forward to Mariota. Looked pretty good last game when he got thrown in there pretty much right away. Against the Chargers, he looked good. Good tossing the ball, run a little RPO, little read option. Love it. And that's kind of why you could kind of argue the Raiders could win, because the Dolphins really don't have a game plan for this. There's not a lot of tape. You just got to base it off the Chargers game. They don't need. It's almost a different system. Carr versus Mariota, it really is. And the Dolphins got a really good defense. You could, get some movement on the ground against them. So, if they get Mariota and Josh Jacobs going, That could be deadly. I trust the Dolphins defense to figure it out. I think they make enough stops, and Raiders defense really struggling right now. I think that this is an opportunity for the Dolphins to get a complete game out there. For their offense, we need to see that. So. Just looking at both sides of the ball, the Dolphins should have them beat, given who their opponent is on those sides of the ball. So they're -3. I got them winning by 4, so right in the ballpark there. But this is a big game. Both teams need to win to have a chance to be in pretty much. The Dolphins are in a little better shape than the Raiders, obviously. But it's a must-win. The AFC's really good. The Ravens are coming, It's a must-win for both teams. And we kind of felt that way when the Raiders played the Colts, and the Raiders kind of let us all down there. So it's a must-win. Must-win here for both teams, in my opinion. Should be a pretty good one on Saturday night. On to Sunday games, I got the Chiefs winning here. Pretty close to the spread. A lot of I'm confident about a lot of these winners in these games, but I noticed, I predict the score and I look at the line. I noticed a lot of these are pretty damn close to the line for the most part. So I guess myself with my score predictions in Vegas, I guess on the same page this week, but pretty confident about these winners. There's a couple games that can go either way. I like the Chiefs though. The Falcons, I got them scoring 20, got the Chiefs scoring 31. They're going to have to play keep up. They may be able to get some offense going early, kind of like they did against the Bucs, but nothing crazy here. Chiefs just too much offense. Shouldn't really be too much of a surprise. Falcons defense has been playing solid. Second half against the Buccaneers, not so much. Chiefs, the speed of the Chiefs might just be too much. The Chiefs, I can see, as being a game where they kind of pump the brakes a little bit, once they get a lead. You don't want to show too much, for the playoffs. They kind of been doing that here and there, but I got the Chiefs taking care of business. Browns, Jets. Browns taking care of business here. They're -9.5. Surprised that's not double digits. And I got them winning by, 13 points. Yes, so the Browns, they're going to come out running the ball. They're just going to worry about running the clock. So that's why it's tough to predict how much points the Browns will score. Look at the Giants game last week. They only scored 20 because they had the lead. They weren't worried about the Giants coming back. They're running the clock. The Jets defense much weaker than the Giants defense, even though they played pretty well last week against the Rams. So the Browns could score more points, but they also could be just very worried about running the clock. But I think they'll see what the Jets did the Rams, and it's good that they won't be worried, but they'll be, make sure we put this game away. We don't want to mess around against these guys just because they're a record. So I think the Browns, they could come up clutch on defense too, possibly get a score, set up their offense in a position to score. So 30 points, 30-17 is what I got. The Browns keep on rolling. No, we don't need a bump in the road here. They're looking pretty good. Colts and Steelers, I think this will be a good game. The Colts are favored by 1.5. Before the Steelers lost, I think I noticed the Steelers were favored by 2.5, so that's quite the flip there. Steelers lost to the Bengals, can explain that. I always look at the games ahead of time, early, even while some of the other games on previous Sunday are going on. And I was kind of thinking the Steelers were going to win this game. The Colts looking good. Phillip Rivers getting better, but they kind of need the run game to open up the pass game for the most part. A lot of teams do. So I thought the Steelers, being the best one of the best run defenses in the league, that could be a factor. But it's just tough to pick the Steelers the way they're playing right now. They're not playing good football at all. The Bengals were able to run on them. The Steelers are just so specifically one-dimensional. Just a quick passing offense. They can't get the ball deep. And they can't really run the ball. The Colts got a stout cover 2 defense. I think that's kind of ideal against the Steelers. The Steelers will try to expand that quick. They like the quick slants, 5 yards, almost 7 yards maximum. The Colts run a lot of cover too, so they'll try to extend that, in between the corner and the safety because the corner's got the flat. The Steelers will try to extend that quick pass to about 10 yards. They could work out for them, but it's going to be tough against this pretty solid defense that gets takeaways. Steelers defense, they've been pretty beat up, so that could be a legitimate excuse why they're not playing as good. They could come away with some turnovers in this game. I think it'll be close. It's going to be whatever team, takes care of the ball better, whatever team that can establish the run sooner. I think that's the Colts. There might not be a whole bunch of running game going on, but I'll take the Colts in this one. Their offense seems to be improving. Steelers declining because they're just so one-dimensional. It's crazy, Not too many teams like that, even the bad teams right now. So it's wild. I think they'll probably figure it out at some point, perhaps. Maybe this could be the turning point, but it's not going well. But every game is different. I know they lost to the Bengals. It was prime time in Cincinnati. The Bengals played some tough football. Steelers had a fluky turnover early, so I don't know if any of those things are going to happen. So, and the Colts been creating those turnovers. So, who knows? Could go either way. Bears and Jags. Got the Bears continuing success on offense. Maybe not quite 30. I think step closer to teams kind of getting more film on the Bears because they completely switched their scheme. They're running a lot more play action. So teams will slowly start to figure it out. They aren't playing the best teams to do so, but but I still like their chances here. Montgomery continue to run. Trubisky continue to have success. Play action. The receivers aren't getting enough credit. I want to credit the receivers more than Trubisky or Montgomery. Really, the offensive line's been playing better as well. So credit to them, but credit to everybody. But the receivers were not getting separation for most this year. They were relying on teams running man coverage and barely getting separation there. They're getting a lot more separation. I guess credit to Laser too, with the scheme change, a little bit of a different play calling as well. So the Bears are just better than the Jaguars in this situation. The Jaguars expect James Robinson to play, so maybe Robinson can get things going, but I like the Bears better on both sides of the ball here. Both similar offenses are going to run quick, small ball in the passing game. They want to run the ball first. So, it could end up being entertaining. Who knows? But I like the Bears 28-17. They're favored by 7.5. They're fighting for a playoff spot as well. They need to keep winning, and they might need some help from the Cardinals or whoever's playing the Cardinals. Next, Giants and Ravens. Got the Ravens winning 24-16. They're favored by 11. I like the Giants defense. The Giants defense could slow up. The Ravens offense is rolling right now, absolutely rolling. But I think the Giants can slow them down a little bit here. Pretty disciplined defense and very, very solid stop and a run. They're not going to give up anything, downfield really. But the Ravens are doing enough offensively. I think they'll blitz a lot. No matter who's at quarterback there against the Giants, and that they'll be successful. They can get a turnover or two in this game. So you can't really take the Giants lightly though. Sneaky team, good defense. Like I said, they play hard. But I got the Ravens 24-16 here in this one. Bengals and Texans. This is a tough one to predict. I'm pretty confident with the Texans, but who knows? Because the Bengals, kind of shocked the Steelers last week. They a lot of energy in that game for the Bengals. They played some tough football, good football, and they ran the ball quite well with Bernard, and they ran read option with Ryan Finley, which was kind of surprising, even more so surprising that it was successful against a good run defense. Texans, bottom of the league in run defense, so they can get that run game, that read option game going again, and they can be successful doing it. I think the Texans do enough on offense, and if the Texans, unlike the Steelers, they start with the ball. Let's say they score again the next time around. It's gonna be tough for the Bengals to be running the ball. It could be similar to the Cowboys game. So I can see this going. There's so many ways this can go. The Bengals running game could just continue. It could be really good. They start off hot, and the Texans, it's gonna be trouble because they can't stop the run. Or it works, but the Texans are just scoring, and the Bengals are trying to play keep up. Or the Texans, it gets out of hand early. The Texans just start scoring right off the bat, and the Bengals can't really use their run game. So then it just gets ugly. So there's three different scenarios there how the game could go, and that kind of applies to pretty much every game. But this one specifically, I got the Texans winning by 4 though in this one. Deshaun Watson should have a pretty solid game here. Next, we got Broncos-Chargers, which this is a game that can go either way. Last time they played, the Chargers outplayed the Broncos for most of the game. The Broncos get a late second push comeback, 1 second left on the board when they score. So that was huge. Another classic Chargers choke. Chargers looked pretty good last week against the Raiders. I know it's not the same defense, but I think Herbert continues where he left off. And they take care of business. They don't let the Broncos come all the way back. Revenge game for Melvin Gordon. He's been looking good recently. But I like the Chargers here. I like the Chargers 31-27. I can see them start to let the Broncos, they can have a bigger lead in this, and they start to let the Broncos come back, but they just kind of hang on. But again, this could go either way because we're all raving about Herbert, and we kind of should be because he was fantastic against the Raiders. Been fantastic his rookie year, better than expected. But what took place right before that Raiders game? A couple games where he didn't play all that good. It's okay, it's understandable. But my point is that could pop up again. Just like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, where he didn't play the best ball. That could pop up again, and that could be the reason the Broncos win. Broncos are very thin at corner. I think that's a big reason to let the Bills score a whole bunch of points. Chargers really aren't the Bills, but their offense does look pretty good. Maybe Keenan Allen can be a little healthier this time compared to last time, Raiders game. So, yeah, Chargers are favored. I got them winning right around where the line is. Panthers in Washington. It's a tough one to predict, I think, as well, because we don't know who's playing quarterback at the moment for Washington. Alex Smith tried to practice late last week, so you think he'd be able to come back. Is Antonio Gibson going to come back? We're going to have to wait and see. It's just tough to pick the Panthers right now. Every time I pick them in the past in these tight, close games, we know that they're going to be close. We know they can go either way. They kind of just let me down, and Teddy Bridgewater's been letting me down. He looked pretty damn good early in the year. He's been disappointing recently, and they're playing a really good defense, one of the best defenses in football right now. So, I think that's the difference. I think Washington just plays some better defense. The Panthers defense, they can give up some yards, give up some points, but they'll take the ball away though too. Washington's got a interesting quarterback situation, so the Panthers could win just by taking the ball away. Brian Burns is getting pressure. Washington's offensive line's not that good. Jeremy Chin just finding ways to take the ball away. So that could be the difference. That could be the reason for the Panthers there, but that would be, arguing the Panthers, and it's realistic, but that would be arguing the Panthers defense wins the game. It's hard to choose the Panthers defense over Washington's defense right now. So I'm going to go with Washington, but we'll see who's in, who's out for that game, especially with McCaffrey as well. And once again, I got Washington winning right around where the line's at too. That's a tough one. If you're trying to put money on that one, I wouldn't touch it. Maybe the under. We'll have to check what the over-under is. We have our bets like that on Patreon. I got the Eagles winning pretty big, in this one against the Cowboys. I think they match up fantastically against the Cowboys here. 34 points. I really like the Eagles offense. Cardinals defense playing really good ball, and Eagles were able to put up some points. They started off a little sloppy, and that was the difference in the game. When they got going, they were going. You can still run on the Cowboys. You can still throw on the Cowboys. They're starting to take the ball away a little more. Hurts is playing good. He's going to run. He's going to throw on them. Receivers are playing better. Miles Sanders is playing better. I like their offense, and I love the way their defense match up against the Cowboys as well. The Cowboys' offense is getting better. It feels like it's improving. Dalton's kind of getting in his groove a little bit, but since their offense line is beat up, when you get pressure on them, you take a lot away from their game. And the Eagles' front four with rotation is pretty good. It's one of the best in the league, actually. So they're going to get pressure, and they'll create a takeaway or two. So I like the Eagles in this game. I'm surprised it's only -2, but division game. Maybe Hurts can have a rookie moment, perhaps turn the ball over. Cowboys are getting turnovers, so that would be my case on why the line is so low. But I like the Eagles in this one. I like the Eagles. Talent-wise, they might be the best in the NFCs. Especially with Hurts in there now. This is a good one. This is one of the 50-50 games, Rams and Seahawks. The Seahawks are actually favored. I got the Rams in this one. For some reason, McVay just beats the Seahawks, and that's really not the only reason I'm picking them. That's really not the biggest reason either. But, the Seahawks just have trouble against McVay in this team, and that's when the Rams defense wasn't even that good. Now they're good. They held the Seahawks last time around to not too many points. The Rams got very conservative in that game last time around. I thought they could have scored a lot more points, but they played it safe because they had to win locked up. So they actually won bigger than the score will say. So I like the way they match up. I wish Cam Akers was playing. This time around the Seahawks have Chris Carson, so that's fantastic. But yeah, the Rams, they just lost to the Jets, but they're going to be pissed off about that. I don't think you can say they lost to the Jets, so they're going to lose the Seahawks. By that logic, they would lose every single week. The Rams are a team where they go hot and cold, so now they're due to go hot, if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, they have the defense. They're not going to stop Russell Wilson and company, but they're going to slow them down a little bit. I think the factor in this game is Chris Carson, running tough, trying to wear them out. That could be the difference, open up the pass game, but I think the Rams defense can slow them down, and they've had. I still like this offense. They've had no problem scoring the Seahawks. Seahawks defense is improving; it's getting better, but they haven't really played a Rams offense since, and it's not even the best offense, But they haven't played the Rams, that type of offense probably since the Rams, So these balanced teams like this are, I think, what the Seahawks have to beat, to take that next step. But two really good teams here. They'll be playoff teams. They can do some damage in the playoffs, make some runs, even though they've had disappointing losses in the past. It's regular season. It pops up. It happens. But I like the Rams because I like their balance. But Chris Carson could be the difference, could be the factor. Him and Carlos Hyde. Maybe their defense. Their defense has been playing well. Maybe they make that extra play, turn Goff over a couple times. Jamal Adams has been getting really good pressure. Carlos Dunlap has been playing really well. So maybe that's the difference there. But I like the Rams. Should be a good one. A lot on the line in that one for the NFC West. Another great one. This is the game of the week, maybe the game of the year. I like the Titans in this one. They're underdogs by 3.5. again, a game that can go either way. It's in Lambeau. It's in the freezing cold. And usually that just sides with the Packers automatically. Aaron Rodgers and he'll play great. That offense will play great. But the Titans are another team I like in the cold. Derrick Henry's proven to be one of the last guys you want to play in a game like this at the end of the year here in December. So it's a great matchup. Two great offenses here. The Titans' defense, it has not been good. It's been pretty bad. They're not getting any pressure. Rodgers will have all day to throw. So the Packers really can score in a play throwing the ball. And they could run the ball well, too. But against the Titans, you want to throw it. You want to throw it quick. Guys are playing off coverage, and you can take that deep shot here and there. But the Titans, I just like their balance in a game like this. The Packers aren't good at stopping and run, especially with, sometimes tackling is a little bad. Derrick Henry, in this situation, it's going to be a tough matchup for the Packers defense, and you could stack the box. Titans, Derrick Henry still has success against stacked boxes, but Tannehill's throwing the ball. Tannehill, and, got to mention the group he has, too, at A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, and more. So if you stack the box, they'll throw the ball on you. Tannehill can run it. A.J. Brown, you can get it too. He's going to play in a slot, a lot in this game. Jair Alexander, very good corner. It might be ideal for him to try to, because he's slowed down every receiver he's played. So it might be ideal to slow down their best guy there on the outside of A.J. Brown. But A.J. Brown plays in the slot a lot, so they're going to give him the ball, quickly. So then the Packers are forced to try to take the right angle and tackle him. I think there's just more sides pointing towards the Titans in an absolute shootout. But you look at what happened in the Browns game. The Titans made some mistakes early, and the Browns just got the ball. They scored. They got the ball. They scored. And the Titans really couldn't run the ball as much as they wanted to because the clock just rolls. So that could happen here. I think it's going to be key for who starts with the ball. I think they got to go down and score. I think they will go down and score. That'll be actually key there. But I like the Titans because I just think, more of that game, the matchup factor there with Derrick Henry against the Packers here. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a really good game. It shows how good the Packers are, though, too, because this is probably one of the worst matchups for the Packers. You look at each team. They don't match up well against the Bucs, but they might be better against them next time around. The Rams, maybe not a good matchup. But, yeah, it's in the ballpark of those where it's not the best matchup, and they still, in the ballpark or could win the game, and that kind of shows how good they are. So if they play this tight or they win this game, I'm thinking the Packers are the team to beat in the NFC. They're probably that Super Bowl favorite from the NFC to make it there. Because they're starting to overcome some of these matchups that are a little iffy. They're not terrible, So this is a big game. It's a big game. Cannot wait. And then Monday night, I got the Bills taking care of business here. Bills take the AFC East. First time since 2009. The Patriots have not won the AFC East, so maybe they can play, like they're out to prove something, that they're angry about that. Who knows? They're gonna try, I guess is my point. The Bills are the much better team right now. Last time they played, it was close. Cam Newton fumbled in the red zone. They had a shot to win it, actually. But the Bills feel like a much better team right now. The Patriots might feel actually worse. So I like the Bills actually on both sides of the ball a little better. Their defense is getting better. They're getting takeaways. They'll get those takeaways. So they'll continue to roll. I know in the back of our minds, the Bills going to hit that cold. Even the cold streak isn't bad for them. It's still like solid. It's just not, that elite football they're playing right now because they started the year hot. They got a little cold, but no, it's nothing terrible. And then now they're extremely hot again. So I know in the back of my minds, are they going to hit that cold spot again? It doesn't really feel like it. They feel that good. So hopefully they continue to stay consistent. They continue to have success here because it's very fun to watch here with Josh Allen and company. But yeah, I got them taking care of business. They're fighting for maybe a little better seeding perhaps. But yeah, we only got this week, next week. Then we got playoffs. We got all of our playoff coverage. Cannot wait for that. Hopefully you can join us. Smash that like button and subscribe. If you're new, be much appreciated. Turn notifications on so you don't miss a thing. It's going to do it, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for the support. Goodbye.